What's up, Underdog? Roof. I'm just kidding. It's your girl, Lon. Thank you for tuning in with me. I don't want to be on the camera today, so even though I should be on the camera, but I don't want to be on the camera. I got my bonnet on and my pajamas or whatnot. And Underdog, I just want to say, like, when you pick up a certain lifestyle and like you're rebuilding, you need to learn to have patience for yourself. Okay. One thing I noticed being the underdog, when you're rehabilitating, you form patterns and habits, right? You get used to a certain lifestyle, especially when you're going through generational trauma or karma. And when you get in that mode of a new beginning and you're like, I'm gonna just keep going and going. Okay, like you don't want to get stuck and be in your head all the time, but you also want to pay attention to the patterns that you're doing, because you literally have to destroy and destruct old ways of thinking, old ways of spending, old ways and habits that, depending on the action you take and which underdogs I'm speaking to today. Okay, because underdog to me is like, you make something out of nothing. And sometimes making something out of nothing everything comes with consequences. So, once you go down, say you go from making, I don't know, $20,000 a year, right? That's like what the average, I guess, food employee worker makes, $20,000 to $30,000 a year. Now you decide, okay, I want to go into a different bracket, right? So you have the mindset of an individual who makes $20,000 to $30,000 a year, but you want to go into a newer bracket. How do you get into that newer bracket? It all starts with your habits and your patterns. Now, I believe everyone has a form of addiction. Our brain is used to pattern and structure, doing the same thing over and over again. As our brain is like a computer, and that is how it is programmed. So what I learned is, not only when you're trying to remove yourself from a pattern or even create a new pattern, it has a lot to do with your environment, who you're around, what you're entertaining, mentally, subconsciously. Okay, what are you going to sleep listening to? What are you waking up in the morning? Are you taking the time to slow down? All right, process out your thoughts, process out those emotions. Like, I'm very optimistic, but I'm also learned to be optimistic in a more harmonious way from negative events and maybe meeting pessimistic people. It's kind of like a grounding energy, because you're just up here in the sky and it's like you need to bring it down to earth, right? So what I learned is that don't ignore the negative emotions. If you're trying to attain a goal and you're trying to achieve a higher mindset or remove a lower mindset, this could work in either aspect, then you're going to need to pay attention to the habits that got you there. Literally start studying yourself, writing it down, taking notes. Okay, this is the outcome and the consequences that came from the action of this, right? And then, because a lot of us get lost up in blaming other individuals when we have certain circumstances come into our life. And really, it started either with us not having healthy boundaries or us not knowing something. Okay? And it's okay not to know. Like, I get so grateful sometimes when there's things that I don't know, because it's like I was brought, or I created experience that helped me to find out and know, right? And you got to think, with every action creates, it's the law of cause and effect. So what's come to my understanding, underdog, is it can be very stressful trying to attain your goals, especially when you don't have the support, the love. Some of you guys could even be orphanized, right? and you just don't have anyone who's constantly motivating, no one close to you that you know that's constantly motivating you or directing or leading you, because you have to be that leader in a sense, underdog, for those who didn't have that. And it's kind of like become the individual that you never had around, right? So it's a lot of act now and think later. And when you get into that process, underdog, it can become very dangerous. And that's something that I learned. Like, you have to make sure that you tune in words, underdog, okay? Even when everything's frustrating and things are being stripped away, it's not me saying, like, don't fight, fight and stand up for yourself. Don't just allow these things in the world to just be attacking you. But maybe look at the perspective from a higher perspective, a lower perspective. Maybe some of you guys could be holding on to relationships. Like I said, these relationships could be a physical manifestation of a pattern that you have going on in your psychological makeup of your brain. And this psychological makeup of your brain is manifesting this physical form of it in your reality. So I like to say our reality is a mirror. So underdog, maybe what I'm getting today is, don't give up, but also don't be insane. Okay? Sometimes overanalyzing and overthinking can stop you, and sometimes not thinking and not analyzing can stop you as well. So always make sure that you try to find that harmony and what it is you're creating and where it is you are going. Now, nothing will be absolutely perfect, no, underdog, but I do believe that, when you do have that fall from grace, it sucks, but it's the most liberating thing ever, because at that moment in time, it's like all you have is your authentic self. So if you feel like you're in the pits at this moment in time, know that this is the ending of who your environment made you up to be. But when you hit rock bottom, that is the beginning of the person you're giving yourself permission and authority to create and be. So don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next one, underdog. You just gotta ride the wave, but also don't forget to drive the boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let someone else drive the boat too long. Learn, observe, but always drive the boat, underdog.